our second part of our event.
To start that event, we're having one of our colleagues. He worked in Saudi Aramco last summer for about 3 months, and he had a hands-on on our experience, of our lifestyle. He would like to share bits and pieces of his experience. So please help me welcome John Akinboyewa.
My last name broke the mic. That's what's up. That's not how we practiced it back there. Akinboyewa. It was close. It was close. It started with an A. My name is John Akinboyewa. I'm a PhD student in the Petroleum Engineering Department here at College School of Mines. And I did some consulting with Saudi Aramco this summer, actually, from May up until about August. And so, forgive me for having a cell phone here. I just asked a few friends to text me what they would like me to talk about. Because I was approached to get a couple of, comments, give a couple comments on my experience over there, what I think about Saudi. A lot of people understand that Saudi Arabia does have influence in the world because of the oil and gas, but they also have a lot of influence with their culture. So I just kind of want to speak about my experiences there. As I mentioned, being in the petroleum department, I have a lot of Middle Eastern friends, period, not just Saudis. I did my master's in the department, and I'm currently doing my PhD. So for the last, and within my undergrad experience at Mines as well, for the last 6, 7 years or so, I've had a lot of good relationships with a lot of Middle Easterns. Oman, Saudi, Abu Dhabi, UAE, Kuwait, and it's really given me an affinity to the Middle East. So much so that I plan to try to go work there upon graduation. So, Saudi Arabia. The culture is very interesting. I think when you go over there on a professional level, you actually see Saudi from the Aramco perspective, which is basically living within the Aramco campus. So Saudi Aramco, the national oil company there, has multiple campuses for their engineers and a lot of the workers. So I stayed in Dhahran camp, and Dhahran is actually one of the major cities over there in Saudi. I stayed in Dhahran. They had a new camp near Khobar. I'm hoping I'm saying these words right, so call out me if I'm not.
You got
good,
it right.
Good. I got thumbs up over there from the doctor, thank you. And I stayed over there, I got to visit Ras Tanura. And I would like to start off. Ras Tanura had one of the most beautiful beaches that I've ever seen. Now, I'm a college student. I don't get to go on vacation a lot. And sometimes you just need to go to a beach. Being in Saudi Aramco over in the Dhahran camp, it was a 55-minute trip. They had a nice Mercedes-Benz bus, oil money talks. They had a nice Mercedes-Benz bus that took you back and forth to all the campuses. And so Ras Tanura happens to be one of the campuses, and I got to go over there to see the beach. I wish I actually got a chance ahead of time to prepare a slideshow to give you some of the pictures. So if you know me or you don't, just come meet me after I have a few on my phone I can show you. The other thing that you will definitely notice and see that it's not a lack of in Saudi Arabia is shopping. Now, for you American ladies who wear the designer and you go out and you see the same person with the same thing, go to the Middle East. You see something different over there. And they do not have a lack of malls. I guarantee you that. They do not have a lack of malls. It's very hot outside, so it tends to sway towards more of a consumer type of environment where it's easy to just go inside to a mall because sometimes it's just very, very hot in the summer. I remember a friend texted me a picture of his thermostat in his car I think 3 days before I showed up. Very nice friend, thanks for warning me. And it was 50 C. So for those in the room who are technical, which is probably everybody, you can calculate Fahrenheit on that, and pretty much in Denver, Colorado, we will not stay here if that was 50 C. So it can get hot. But There's a lot of air conditioning in the mall, so everybody goes there. In fact, you'll see a lot of families, a lot of play areas, a lot of places to pray. So they accommodate everybody being there at different hours. Now, part of the things that I experienced this summer was Ramadan. And like I mentioned, I was looking to go work over there upon graduation. So it was very important that I go during the hottest part of the time and during Ramadan so I can get the full effect of what it means to be in Saudi during the summer. Because the rest of the year, there's not much else going on because the temperature is a little different. Ramadan was beautiful. I'm not Muslim, but I have a lot of Muslim friends and I have a lot of respect for the culture and religion. And I wouldn't say surprisingly because I knew this while I was here, but it was very obvious that they had a lot of respect for me and my religion over there. Working for Saudi Aramco, they actually had, during Ramadan, they had a haram room. You can figure out what haram means. But you can actually go over there if you're a woman who is pregnant, for example, when you're working and you need to eat and you're an international, you can go over there and grab your food. That's not a problem. It's not that notion that a lot of Americans have that misconjoined, thought about Saudi Arabia. It really isn't. So that was another thing I got to experience. I lost a lot of weight during Ramadan too, so that was great. Thank you, brother. And let's see what else they texted me. Hopefully nothing embarrassing. You can't text right now because I'm getting a few more text messages to say something stupid on stage. Mutawa. I had an interesting experience with Mutawa. For those who don't know, there is the Commission for Vice and Virtue, and a lot of people think it's negative. Everybody has their opinions on different aspects of this, but let me just say, I'm not stripping, I have a very, very simple necklace over here. It's got nothing on it. It's actually one of those little beads. You know when you buy shoes, new tennis shoes? They have these little silver things that comes with a label. I put a bunch of them together and I just wear it every once in a while. And I got stopped in the mall one time as I was in the store. Now, mind you, I was in the store. I didn't understand that there were about 2 or 3 females in the store with me. So, and I was in alone with the guy, and I was chatting with the guy, and the guy was like, talking about America and everything. And that's another thing you see is a lot of people, you meet a wide range of people who were very educated over here in the US, in the Western world, London, and came over back to Saudi and are actually helping to develop the country, which is beautiful. And you meet some people who have not left the country, just like I meet a lot of people in Colorado who have never left Denver. So it's all the same over there, and when you run into those guys, they want to find out as much as they can about the United States. So we were chatting, we were very in-depth in the conversation, so much so that I missed the fact that I was getting called over here to say, hey, come here, let's chat. So he was standing over there, and the first impression, maybe be nervous. Not really, I was very calm. For those who know me, I'm a very jovial, joking person. I could be laughing in handcuffs, I wouldn't know it. So, and he stands over there and he says, hey, you're wearing this chain. And I said, oh, yeah, it was just a simple chain. And he says, no, that's no problem. Are you from Saudi? I said, no. At first I tried to lie and I said, Al-Dosari. Which I am, secretly. My parents just got my last name wrong. You see, that's what you should have said. That's my real last name. So, I say, no, I'm not Saudi, but I'm American. He says, are you Muslim? I say, no. He says, why? I said, well, I love the Quran, and I've read it, and Christian, but there's a lot about Islam that I really respect and I agree with. And I say, are you Christian? He says, no. I say, why? And we moved on to the next topic. And then he says, hey, I'd just like to chat with you about Islam, what you're doing here. And they actually have a lot of interest into just a lot of the Americans that are over there working. So a lot of the negative thoughts, a lot of the negative impressions that I think Americans have about other cultures can be changed if you just actually step out of your comfort zone a little bit, go over there, see it yourself, experience it, and you probably have a blast. A lot of times, I was never in the Dahran camp. I always left, and so much so that I probably have about 20 taxi drivers' cell phones and numbers in my cell phone, just because you need to be able to call one at any time. So for those Saudis in here, I was in Abu Haytham. A lot. So much so I get a discount rate on taxi. You can chat with each other over that. It's nothing bad. So there were a few places over there in Azazia. You go to the Souk Ghanam, basically. That's the meat market, the land market is over there. I got to shop over there. I went to Dammam, which is another major city next to Dhahran. I went to Kobar Mall, Venetia Mall, Dhahran Mall, which is actually a new mall over there. It's beautiful. They have IKEA. Oh yeah. Let me see what else. I never got to visit Riyadh, and I don't know if my friend Naif Al-Qahtani is here. So I'm sorry, it was just very tough to figure out with work schedules to take some time out, go to Riyadh and come back. But I'm hoping in the future, I'm actually chatting with Aramco HR right now, and hopefully if I go over there to work full time, I'll get to tour out the whole of Saudi, including the empty quarter. Everyone from Saudi knows where that is too. So, thank you very much. I don't know if you guys have any questions. Thank you.
Alright, I haven't stopped laughing being in the back seat. Well done, John.